The Niels Klim Committee has had the pleasure of evaluating all this year's nominated researchers from the Nordic countries. The committee has, on the basis of a thorough scrutiny of all the nominees, decided to recommend to the board of the Holberg Prize that Professor of Economics at the University of Bergen, Katrine Wellesen Løkken, be awarded the 2017 Niels Klim Prize. Katrine Wellesen Løkken is born in 1983 and became a full professor at the age of 31. Her research merits are impressive, and her topics cover key issues of the Nordic welfare states approached from a sophisticated economic perspective. She has treated topics ranging from family policy studies to the health sciences and criminology. The hallmark of her contribution is a stringent and meticulous application of advanced mathematical models with a particular emphasis on isolating the decisive causal factor. Together with a number of co-authors, she has broached issues that might change the research focus in her field of economics. Another aspect of her contribution which makes her research stand out among that of her peers is the ability to pursue her chosen research topic, the impact of state policies on individual behavior, across a number of disciplinary boundaries. Her research has evident relevance for policymaking, for instance, the effects of maternity leave, even beyond the Nordic context, and she has, on the basis of her research results, taken active part in the public debate. Katrine Wellesen Løkken's list of publications surpasses any expectations of a person her age. She has consistently published in the leading international journals of her discipline, such as American Economic Review, American Economic Journal, Journal of Political Economy, and Review of Economics and Statistics. Bringing issues of welfare state family policies into the center of attention in the field of economics is no small achievement. Katrine Wellesen Løkken is a most worthy Niels Klim laureate, and she will serve as an inspiration to other young researchers in the social sciences.
Onora O'Neill is one of the most distinguished and influential philosophers of her generation. Her bold, scholarly, and deeply humane work has shed light on some of the most pressing intellectual and practical challenges of our time. Her early work transformed our understanding of Kant. Acting on Principle gave a novel account of the relationship between morality and rationality in Kant. Constructions of Reason argued much against received wisdom that for Kant, our discursive intellect is socially dependent. In an era where the quality of Kant's scholarship has been unusually high, her preeminence signifies an achievement of the highest order. But her scholarship did not just transform our understanding of Kant. Her books added an unprecedented vibrancy to the resurgence of interest in his work. In particular, her thinking about the requirements of public reason added great subtlety to a debate that has engaged some of the most powerful intellects of our time. Her achievement became even more compelling when she turned her philosophical and moral acuity to some of the most pressing questions of our time. She demonstrated how to do philosophy in a way that measured up to the complex moral demands of the world. In books such as Faces of Hunger and The Bounds of Justice, she changed our understanding of the nature of our obligations in an unequal world. While rigorously arguing for a world of porous boundaries and a more dispersed and even distribution of power, O'Neill showed how doctrines of rights and notions of obligation require us to pay attention not just to the needs of strangers, but to the structural conditions of oppression that mark the lives of so many people in this world. O'Neill has had an enormous impact in the wider public sphere, both in the UK and beyond. She has used her scholarly expertise and acumen to change the terms of public discourse, making philosophical issues relevant to a much wider community. This has involved generously taking on demanding institutional roles. For example, her work in the Nuffield Foundation, in the Nuffield Council on Bioethics and Equality, and Equality and Human Rights Commission. She is a dedicated public servant, devoting great energy to the social and cultural good, without seeking the limelight. Increasingly, however, she has played a prominent part both in the UK Parliament and in the wider debate on subjects ranging from human rights and press freedom to end-of-life care. Her 2002 BBC Reith lectures on the subject of trust argued that we should think more skeptically about rules and regulations that try to enforce accountability and transparency. These lectures were controversial, but also prompted a lively international discussion at an unusually high level. Here we can see O'Neill exemplifying the very philosophical principles about which she writes. O'Neill's work has the extraordinary ability not just to engage with complex issues of global justice, it also illuminates some of the most intimate questions of morality and public policy. Her work on bioethics, in both theoretical and practical contexts, contains some of the most penetrating discussions of autonomy, trust, and informed consent. But it is her ability to blend questions of morality and an account of psychological plausibility and institutional legitimacy that make her a powerful guide to the most profound ethical questions of our time. Her philosophical work is rigorous, yet gracious in its articulation, and profoundly moved by a deep and abiding concern for humanity. O'Neill is a true citizen philosopher.